what I genuinely wonder, bro? I wonder if when Russian people hear you speak Russian, I wonder they're like, oh, that's a black guy.
No, they
think, like, you know what I'm saying, bro?
The thing is, Americans.
Like, think about it, bro.
The thing is, there's a specific way Americans speak Russian. Oh, continue it. It's called Americanism. It's the Americanizing Russian.
Like on the table going in a circle. Hey.
Might as well, because our ideology is
Alright, everyone, so welcome to the Piece by Piece podcast. I am your host, William Parham, and I'm here with my two co-hosts.
It's out of order, but I'm the co-host Takai Hogan, and
Man, it's mess. I'm a little bit under the weather, you feel me? But I'll be back.
Newport.
Let me get Newport espresso.
Alright, today we're here with a special guest and a special friend of mine. We met at the gym. Strongest dude I know, can put up 315 on squat like it's nobody's business. Welcome.
Hey guys, I'm Johnathan Banks.
you might want to get a little bit closer.
Get a little
Sit next to him.
Hey little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
Let me whisper in your ear. Yo, why don't you just sit next to him?
This is Johnathan Banks, very friend at the gym.
That's big Banks out here.
So, invited him on the podcast because today's topic is routines. We all have them, we all know what they are, we all know it brings structure to our lives. But we want to implement how routines are important, especially for one's mental health. Especially, being college students, having a routine is quite literally the best thing you can have to get through and out of college with all the things that go on in college. So let's get into it. Personally, I think a routine, if we can define it, is just a structured set of tasks and behaviors that we perform in a rhythm or set period. Any thoughts?
I mean, that's pretty much it, bro. Just pretty much something to like keep you on track. That's it. And I mean, I think routines. I hate routines, bro, but they're absolutely necessary for anything. Like, I feel like they're just necessary in general. Like what I mean by this is like, I'm kind of disorganized as fuck, bro. So routine for me is like literally my biggest enemy. But whenever I do get in a routine, I hate when shit starts working out. And I'm like, bruh, this is so stupid. Like, who the fuck wants structure? But alright, that was kind of.
But then again, you got this idea of having a routine, right? And when you have a routine, what it does is it takes that mental like gas to keep you going that you can use to other things. When you have a routine, like say you wake up in the morning, you have your structure, you have a little thing, you don't have to think about that, you just do it. So you can use those resources in your brain to think about other things, to think about, like, say for instance, okay, so you have a routine and then you're like, let me do something spontaneous. Let me go to the park, or let me tell my boss I'm gonna leave because I'm gonna do something, whatever it is, something spontaneous, right?
Yeah,
Does it ever cause you
bear.
What?
Let's wrestle a bear. Let's wrestle a bear.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that, right? Let's wrestle a bear. That would be Russian thing, right? He's thinking Russian. But like, say you do something like that, right? And you think it's gonna be relaxing or fun, right? And you think you're gonna be more relaxed after. But does it ever cause you more stress than before you actually did it? Because you had your routine, you broke your routine, and now you're doing something, and you're thinking about how you got to do, who to invite, like all these different like things that you weren't thinking about before. So it's just like when you have that routine, there's this idea of just like, okay, I'm going throughout my day. I don't have to think about it. I just do it. It's my habit. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. Like,
yeah.
Big facts. Like having a routine, it's very personal. So like it's a good way, as you're saying, is keeping structure in your life. So despite how chaotic things can get, having a routine kind of is a way to bring yourself like to being grounded.
Right.
So like all that's going on, let's say like you're a college student, you're playing sports, you have a test due today, you have like an assignment, and you have a meeting to go to, or you're in a fraternity or sorority. Like having a routine in the morning is just kind of your way of getting your thoughts together, like revving the engine for a car. Because you don't want to just take off after you start the gas. You want to like.
It's called a cold start. For some cars, you actually do want to do that. But
some people have cold starts. Some people can just wake up and get to it. Other people need to like warm up.
Me personally, my life is a bit chaotic. So I plan something out and say, oh yeah, well I need you to do this right now. So you can't do what you have to do. I'm just like, come on, man. I told you this 3 days ago. Every day leading up to this, I have to do. And right now you're telling me to do something else. It's like, come on, man.
No, that's
Not-
good. So like that leads into like the next portion I wanted to talk about. It's just when is it okay to prioritize your routine, and when is it okay to like make little adjustments here and there?
Like spontaneous, right?
Yeah,
Spontaneous
like-
adventures. Like you have your work schedule, you have your gym schedule. After this, I go to the gym in the morning. I wake up, go to work. Right after that, I go to the gym. Maybe take a nap. Whatever your schedule is, right? When is it okay to like break that and do something with like a friend or a girlfriend or something like that, and just do something spontaneous? Is what you're asking, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'll be honest, I cannot break, dude. Even if I had a girlfriend, I don't think I could break like my routine for the gym for her. I'm sorry.
Right.
I mean, that,
Like the gym kind of gets my thoughts together in the morning.
that's real commitment. I would say honestly, if it's like impacting your mental health, say for example, if like you have a routine, especially for people that are like in STEM fields where the people that are like, you know, the ones that like put all that time to study, the ones that are getting like A's or B's or whatever, you know what I'm saying? I think once they get to the point where it's starting to lead to mental burnout, that's when I think you should probably take a break. Because the thing is, if you keep going at it, bro, like you said, like there's a gas tank even in your brain, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be the most disciplined person, but there are physical and I guess you would call them mental limits, if that makes sense.
Limitations.
Like, yeah, personally, I can't study and take breaks, bro. Like, I'm not one of those people that like I'd rather study for 4 hours and take
Right.
no breaks. Because dude, if I study for 10 minutes, bro, I watch YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, all right. First of all, I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, how the all right. I gotta limit my
Nah, be
cursing.
explicit. Say what
Nah,
you
because
gotta say.
I'm the type of person to be like, damn, what my cousin doing right now in Russia? And I'd be kind of like, damn, I'm about to learn how to what the fuck is this dialect? This shit is crazy. Nah, or like, I'd be trying to like learn how to like, I'd be trying to learn how to like learn Arabic. This shit on my spare time. So like, I cannot get distracted, bro, because I'm going from organic chemistry to like,
How to speak Arabic.
straight
Reading
up.
the Quran in Arabic.
Oh, I don't be reading the Quran sometimes like that. I'm just like, yeah,
Hey,
because
you
I,
read the Quran, that's good.
no, I mean I don't read like that because I feel like if I say like I read the Quran like that, I don't really practice it, so I don't want to disrespect someone's culture. Like I read it, you know what I'm saying? But like I would never call myself like a Muslim, you know what I'm saying?
That's all. There's a different because like it's good to just read it because there's good stuff in there.
I will say so, yeah. I mean, there's like lifestyle stuff, so there's that. But I just think if I call myself a Muslim, bro, I'd just be doing very non-Muslim shit, bro. I ain't gonna
Someone's
lie.
gonna be ready to quiz you when you call yourself a
I
Muslim.
mean, look, man.
Like someone's like,
Oh,
all right,
yeah,
all right,
I get
when
that
is
all
this?
the
For
They be
the
like,
wallahi or whatever, bro. I'm like, I don't know none of that, G. Like, yeah.
I get that all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're a Muslim? Okay, what's this? What's this?"
So,
Yeah, it's like, and then like, what do you know about Christianity? Like, I'm not a Christian, bro. And so
it's like, what direction do you pray?
It should be to the east. Everyone knows that, like,
it depends, because if you are in the east, you pray to the west.
because that's technically the east for you guys, right?
No, so if you're east of Mecca, it's the closest direction.
Direct facing.
Yeah, you
Facing
face
the Mecca?
towards Mecca,
I-
the closest to Mecca.
Okay.
That's actually a perfect segment. Like religion, like routines and religion. That's another thing that helps keep people grounded. So like, for instance, like being Muslim. I don't know exactly what the customs are, so anyone cut me off and speak if I'm wrong on this. You pray 3 times a day.
5.
That was 5, yeah.
Thank you. 5 times a day, and you're facing the Mecca.
The Mecca.
Mecca. It's just
So- towards
facing
Mecca.
The DC.
sorry.
Mecca's a city. It's a holy
Hey,
city.
correct me as you please.
You're just facing to the east, pretty much, right?
So facing
Yeah,
facing
because
Mecca.
we're in the west.
Well, I had
Facing Mecca. That's what I'm saying.
one time. So when I was working for my dad, like, back in the day, we had a patient. We had a pediatric patient that died of cancer, leukemia, and the child was Muslim. So when the child passed, we had to turn the bed facing towards east. I remember it was kind of weird.
You also have to cover up
Like,
his body.
yeah, we had to. And
Yeah.
it was the weirdest thing because I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, you know, I just saw a child die. So it's just kind of like, it was a weird situation because I'm like, damn, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't ready no one's really ready, especially like kids.
No one's ready for death.
Yeah, like, especially a children's death because it's
Yeah.
kind of like, and the fact that they have religious customs, I'm like, kind of like, it was a lot, man. But all right.
Well, yeah, you quite literally watch a child die, and you're like, "Oh, whoa, this is new. Why are you guys
I
doing
mean, I
this?"
just thought that it was gonna be something kind of like we just the death certificate, you know.
Well, that's
cover the
a
child,
very
but-
Christian thing.
Yeah, see, bro, that's the only thing I really grew up in. So like, when the father told us to like move it, well, me and the father and my dad, we like moved the child's
body.
to like the east.
I don't want to like take away from like that moment, but I still want to like, how do I say this? Get to like keep it on routine so we all feel sad
Oh,
because
yeah,
that's some.
You
some
want to
dark
get to the
stuff.
meat of the podcast,
Not the meat, but like
the potatoes.
when is it's another question. When is a good time, or how do you set up a routine for yourself? Like, how do you know you're in a good routine, or how do you want to? How do you set one
Because
up?
it really depends, because there are all kinds of routines. Some routines are just bad.
Well, let's make it simple. So, like for college students, when you're starting out the semester, what are some good steps for a routine you want to follow? So,
First
say
off,
you want to keep your grades in balance, your social life in balance, and your physical health in balance.
Well, like I would say, the first thing I would say is focus on going to your classes. Go to your classes. 'Cause if you're not going to your classes, why are you even here?
Facts.
This is the thing I don't get, because I hear people like, oh yeah, I don't go to my classes. Why are you here? You're paying 12 grand to live on campus, and you're just sleeping in your dorm all day?
In defense, there are some people I know who, I've been a victim of this, who go through like that period where you're like either super burnt out in the semester, or like
It's the first week of classes,
Oh
bro.
yeah, my fault. Yeah. First week
We're
of
talking about the
classes.
beginning of
I
the
mean, you
semester.
could have had a rough summer. Like something could have been affecting you through the summer that's hit you by now. Like you can't like not miss school.
I mean, you're living on campus, bro. Like it's like
I can't get down
it's
with that.
something like. I
don't wanna create a scenario,
I'm going to
but,
use
like,
this.
I'm trying to
I'm going
play
to use
devil's
an
advocate.
example of what happened last semester. So, last semester,
Is it what I think you're about to say?
let me just talk.
All right, I'll let him cook.
So, this is a common. You're testing me right now.
Sorry. I please talk.
Okay, so last semester, and I had chemistry, a Chem 101. I had chemistry with a class of maybe 200 people. And so this was the first day of classes, and I saw a student walk into the door, look inside, and say, yeah, no, fuck this. And he just left. Like, it's the first day of, it's 9 a.m. What do you,
I'm sorry to laugh, but I can see that.
It's 9
I can see that.
Yeah, but it's 9 a.m. It's our first class. What do you mean? Like, there's like 10 people in here. Why do you?
We didn't even get the syllabus.
Yeah.
You didn't even meet the professor yet, like. But there's also this concept of like, okay, so before I came, I did my research, right, about routines and stuff, and there's studies and psychology studies on this, and like how long does it take a routine when you start doing it for it to stick and for it to be like a habit or natural to you?
Is it like a week?
2 weeks, right?
It's surprising because it's between as short as like 18 days for a simple routine to stick to your schedule and just be like, oh, I'm going to do this at this time. I don't even have to think about it. It's just something I wake up, brush my teeth, like, you know. It could take up to like 200 days. That's like a really complex routine though. So one thing to think about if you're a student trying to make a routine, right? Start simple. If you want to make a good routine, good habit, start with something like I'm going to do this, and these are like. Oftentimes people, what they do is they start on something that they already have in place. Like I go to work at this time, that's not changing. I need money. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Tack on something to that, you know, and it'll start up a quick routine like that'll just hopefully stick. And then once it starts sticking, it's natural, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I will say, as a person that does not like routines, bro, I'm kind of like chaotic. Like I need to work on that. But I will say, there's something very satisfying about having a routine. I've noticed that with certain things, like I would say mostly with like the gym. I slack on it, but whenever I do get in a routine,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, my
get
self-esteem
enough.
goes up. I'll be like, honestly, ain't none of y'all doing shit, bro. Like, look at me, like.
Walking with the chest out.
I mean, you feel me, man?
Yeah,
I'm out here feeling like Lord Farquaad. You feel me? Like this shit.
Oh my goodness.
This is my kingdom.
Straight up,
This is
bro.
my kingdom.
I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, yeah.
Shrek
like,
who?
feel like-
Who's that green nigga?
you're
Slash
this is my kingdom. What this ogre doing?
Far away, more like close. You're too close to me. I can't see him.
Yeah, I want the fairest lady. You can't take her from me.
Alright, that falls into the next part of routine. So
We gotta call Mess Lord Farquaad.
stop.
They're hating on me, bro.
How am I hating? You own a kingdom, bro.
Yo.
There's also
I
Yes,
love
that's
short
right.
kings.
Hey, short king.
I mean, he literally is a short king.
Winning.
There's no other short king here, bro. Oh, you guys are like what, like past 5'10"?
If it wasn't for Shrek, Lord Farquaad would have had his way.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would have to be on
He was
right.
kind of a piece of shit, though.
He still would have had his way.
Yeah,
would've
he
changed
still
it.
had a wife. Look at that 10 he pulled.
Had her locked up for storage. Like had her on safety. Like he was ready
Perfect.
to bring her out when it was time.
What the fuck?
Show me my way.
Yeah, he was playing the Bachelor at one
number
point.
one.
Yeah, Bachelorette number 2, Bachelorette number 3.
All I can say is true.
All right, but getting back on topic of routines, there's also been evidence showing that routines make you happier. And when I say happier, I mean more content with how things are going. Because, you know, life gets crazy. Routines give you that control for yourself. So like once you have your routine, it's kind of like you know what your day is going to consist of. So that gives you the ability to make time to add, like you were saying, to make time to add, Jonathan, to make time for you to add things into your schedule. Like, oh, you want to go on a date? Oh, I got free time between 3 and 5. We can have a date at 4. Or I want to make time to spend with the boys, or I want to make time to spend on a project. I know my schedule. I know my routine. I'm set and I'm good to go. It also helps with you getting a good night's rest, because if you're waking up at the same time, you know, every day, you're not sleep deprived, you're not overwhelmed, you get the right amount of sleep.
You're talking about dividing up your day into 8s?
What do you mean, like 8 hours of rest, 8 hours? No, because the body, as I've learned, doesn't need 8 hours of rest. It's more like 6. But
No. That's a very minute.
It's
group
6.
of people.
It's a solid 6.
It's at least 7 hours.
right?
7 hours and
6
30
minimum
minutes.
REM sleep.
Yeah, it's 6 hours. It's 7 hours 30 minutes.
Okay.
Typically.
I know that when we're like 12.
Give me this mic. Give me this mic. So I don't know about y'all, but I'm hyperactive. I have ADHD, right? And so if I don't,
We're all.
we're family, y'all. Okay, all right. All right.
Hey man, I got Addy right here.
You know, Sped by Sped podcast.
I guarantee if all of us like right now just took Addy. I'm pretty sure this is probably the most boring fucking podcast because
We all took
no,
Addy?
because we'd be stabilized.
Yeah.
We'd be like, yeah, you like say some fun corny shit like kind of like
You know when SpongeBob tried to be normal, like he rounded himself out?
no.
Yeah.
Like, how's the weather today?
How's the morning? Hey, how you doing?
High school.
We all conform. I'm trying to
SpongeBob round pants.
Our vocabulary probably would have gone up like mad if we all took Adderall right now.
Expeditiously.
Yeah, expeditiously.
Perspicacity. Well, dude, this is exactly what I said.
I'm feeling mad intelligent right now.
The modulus of 4 is 2.
I can answer. Ask me any question. Ask me any question in the comment section. I can answer that lickety split. You heard?
All right, but what
Get your back in the house.
was I even saying, bro? I don't even remember. This is why, oh yeah,
Happiness of routine.
Yeah, because and then we got into being
the
hyperactive,
ADHD, right? So like I'm hyperactive. So if I don't have that routine, at least like, so say I take a whole mental health day. If I don't get on my routine the next day, or say I'm on vacation, right, and I'm not on the itinerary or whatever, I won't know what I'm doing. I'll be stressed out during the vacation. I don't want to be stressed out during a vacation. Think about that. Think about a routine in a vacation. You're off your routine. You're supposed to be relaxing, right? But for me, I can't find that peace of mind if I'm not like, okay, I'm in Egypt. I'm supposed to see the pyramids. I'm not supposed to be. I can sleep at home, bro.
Fact.
That's a fact.
But listen. But at home, right? If I'm at work and the gym, and then I have my other stuff, play video games from 7 to 9, whatever it is. I don't know. My free time. If I don't have that structure, I feel like I'm just non-productive, and that causes stress for me as a hyperactive individual. If I don't feel like I'm at least have this schedule, like I'm gonna actually gain from this time, even if it's not like bettering myself. Even if it's on my schedule, it's on my schedule. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't have that routine, if I'm not following this order, like I said, there's spontaneous things that you do and it doesn't mess up my mental health. But if I don't follow that order, I feel like I'm just, a bum, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not doing anything, especially at work. Like if I don't have that routine, the meeting, that I don't have that calendar, I just feel like,
You feel out of whack.
yeah, it's just like
you're not you.
non-productive. Like what is my life? I'm an engineer. Like, okay, so what do you do? I don't know. I don't have a routine, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
If you're an engineer, you don't have a routine. I'm not
That's
trusting
kind of
anything you
wild,
build.
bro.
It's
I will
like
not trust anything
me.
you build if you do not have a routine as an engineer.
Wow, I feel called out.
My fault.
There's the thing
Well, you guys
is,
aren't working
I mean,
yet,
think
right?
of Bob the Builder, bro. If Bob the Builder didn't have a routine, can we fix it? No.
all right. I was gonna go into the routine thing, but all right, we can make shots. We can make.
No, I'm just. That's just.
Yeah.
No, we can't. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I
If
thought.
Bob doesn't show up to work every day, it's not getting it done.
All
Probably the
right.
most
So what I
negative
was
shit you said.
Oh.
That's probably the most
Really?
negative shit you've ever said.
like.
Oh, wow.
Anyways.
I'm changing.
When I was, you're learning from me. That's good. But like I was saying, the thing is, you said that you can't just sit around and do nothing, right? So I take that a step further. So I'm probably what you would call the biggest time waster possible. But hear me out. All right. I saw that look. I know you're about to say something. So what I do is, I like to play video games. I've been playing video games much less. All right? So when I do play video games, I'm usually listening to something. If it's not about history, it's about how to build something. It's how to make something, like forging, like literally how to build a house, or literally, how a country collapses, something like that. So I may be the biggest time waster, but it's not a waste of time. I'm learning something as I go, something you won't learn in school, right? So, I guess that's the only bit of routine that I have. So whenever I'm not actively doing something, I'm listening to something. So like, I'll listen to like the minds of average people, or something about how people actually work, how people function in a society, or how a society is propped up, or quite literally down to the basics of how technology progresses and how it delineates.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that while you're doing like playing video games or whatever you're doing that you don't think maybe is actually enhancing yourself, and then you're listening to something that actually you can learn, right? Do you think that makes you feel better about like, so like for instance, I'll eat a whole pie of pizza, right, and then I'll have like some fruit after it, like I'm healthy, I'm healthy. Do you think that actually helps your mental health?
I understand what you're saying, but I'd say it's a little bit different.
It's different, right?
So in this aspect, it's more about, this is something you quite literally can't learn other than spending time to learn it, right? So, you can sit down in a classroom and learn about how some guy revolutionized the production of corn in America. How is that going to help you? It doesn't. So, like, let's say you start working in corn. Knowing how this guy did something to change how corn was done does not fix or help you or fix any form of routine you have, right? So, like, learning about this specific person, it may help you depending on how exactly you do it.
Application,
yeah. So my routine would be, let's listen to how an entire country fell apart, and let's see how this relates to what's going on today. Then I'd actually go into, what are people complaining about today compared to what they were complaining about during the collapse of that country or that empire or whatever. So like the fall of, I don't know, the German Empire. See what actually led to them falling apart, circa, 1918, or.
It's so interesting you say that, because it's just like it brings up a lot of different concepts, like the concept of being able to multitask, and a lot of different other ideas in my head. But let's talk about multitasking real quick, because a routine it's related to routines, right? If routine is like, I'm going to do this at this time and this at that time, but if you can multitask, why can't you do two things at one time? Put that on your calendar, right? Like you said, your routine is to literally, like you said, play video games, watch a YouTube video at the same time, right?
You're raising your hand for it. This is your podcast.
I know, but I was let him finish talking. So that I can answer that. So like multitasking, I mean, respectful. Come on, man.
Teacher.
We're all teachers here.
Can I go? Can I speak?
All I can see is that hand that you can raise on what's it called, Zoom, or you just raise a hand.
The emoji.
Yeah, what is going on here?
The difference between like having a routine and you're saying like multitasking, I learned it in psych. It's operant conditioning. So when you're ever in the presence of a stimulus, you elicit you act on your next behavior. So like when you are playing a video game, the behavior that comes to mind afterwards is like you are listening to something, you're learning something outside.
Basically what you're saying is that you're not really multitasking. What you're doing is you're doing something but subconsciously doing something else.
Bingo.
So it's
you're
not
teaching yourself to do
it's
that.
not true multitasking is what you're saying.
You're conditioning yourself.
Yeah.
That's all I just wanted to say about that. Yeah.
No, I actually did hear about that. How there's no true form of multitasking because the brain is not actually designed to actually perform multiple tasks at once. So if you do want to consider multitasking and put that into your schedule, don't. There's a reason why texting and driving is illegal. Calling, being on the phone and driving is illegal. There's a reason for all of that.
Please don't text and drive. Literally, like this past week, someone died on 695 because they were texting and driving. Like they ran over like a bunch of construction workers.
Yeah, I was. It's weird because I actually know like the dudes that got killed there, and the thing is, I usually in the past during our spring break, I've been studying at Towson, like almost every day. Like, and the thing is, usually like it's around the time I go study, and I'm like, bruh, I got super sick. And I was like, bro, because I honestly hate going to the doctors. And I was like, dude, I'm actually lucky as hell. Because that's usually, bro, I always go to Towson to study, honestly. Because I kind of hate studying here.
Weirdos?
I just in the Towson Library, I just despise
The
studying this
library here
library.
is weird compared to
Like, so-
What do you mean? Please explain.
So I hate this. I'm gonna say.
I'll flex with Hopkins.
I'm gonna say this, bro. And I know most of most of the people watching this are UMBC students. This library fucking sucks.
Oh no, but like I understand what you saying that, but what exactly sucks about it?
There's not enough privacy and it's hard to get like individual rooms. So
Yeah.
like when Mess took me to Hopkins, we literally went to like the bottom floor. I kid you or not, there were probably more individual rooms on that floor than there are in this entire library.
I put it
It was
exactly.
insane. Like for every like 5, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
For
you're
every
good.
5 feet, there was like an individual study room.
You get little
Like, they
cubbies.
were literally like it was the catacombs. This shit was bricked up right next to each other. It was crazy.
No,
You make me want to go to France right now. Let's
I want to go to
Yo,
France.
let's
I want to
do
go
it.
to France.
No,
with the catacombs.
Yeah, at least say who was in Paris.
So honestly, so back what I was saying. So I used to have about the routine. So probably go like 4 years ago. I set a routine where I would study. I would go to Hopkins. Like I was attending a community college at the time, and I would study at the Hopkins library. I was so there because I had friends that like studied there as well. But the thing is all right. As soon as my math class was done, my math class would let out 7:10. So I would be at Hopkins by like 8 p.m. I would study there till almost like 1 a.m. Why? Because of course, like I knew 1 or 2 people like there at the time. So I remember sitting there and realizing that like being around people made me better. Being around people that were mad smarter than me, bro, that shit made me like and I would have like a certain time. Okay, I gotta be down at Hopkins by like 8 p.m. And that was kind of like the routine. So I did this routine for like a good while. I'm not gonna lie, like I was a math major. I really rarely scored under a 90 in any of my exams. Like, but I realized math major is kind of like
Lame.
it's not lame, bro.
Our president was a math major.
But the thing is, if you're not going into
He's
education,
the president now.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Without
yeah,
Current president?
we're
No,
about.
our president before our current president.
Yeah, was.
Yeah, he was a math major, then he became a president.
Okay.
He still dude, I talk to him like weekly. He still does calculations for fun, like on his desk.
You know what's funny?
Like he eats peanut M&Ms and does like calculations.
Like yeah,
I think that's like a math thing.
No,
That's what we doing the same thing.
No,
That just sounds lame though.
No, it's not, because I still do that, because I'll be doing Calc 2, Calc 3. Like, say, for example, people that I know that are taking Calc 2, Calc 3, I'll see them almost like, okay, I don't know if you can say, almost unalive themselves because they can't understand these concepts.
Yeah.
And this is me eating Cheetos. I'm like, ha, you're stupid as hell. What do you mean you don't know this method?
It's like, oh, you don't know this? Plebe. Let me just,
Let me cook real quick.
yeah, just loser. Read it and weep. Read it and weep.
Yo, I remember.
This happened on the yurt.
Yo, I remember. There's an
No,
exam
I
I took
understand what you
in
guys
Calc
talking
2,
about.
right? So you have Calc 1, which is basically just derivatives, right? Calc 2, you learn all this the integral stuff, right? And so basically, in Calc, the final exam for Calc 2, I remember was a spring semester. I derived this was Calc 1 because I
Don't you
remember.
derive some
Derive-
bitches?
No, I derived Euler's formula. I'm not kidding. And now nobody believed me, bro. On the exam, I was like, I couldn't remember. So I used like this the sign plus 1 equals whatever. I used all that and I got to the answer. I derived it and I looked it up after. I looked at my exam after and I looked at the derivation. It was right. I didn't remember any of that and nobody believed me. They were like, nah, bro, you can't do that.
Because
You're lying, bro. You're lying.
Yeah, you're lying. You're lying.
Because I'm a little bit skeptical about that because Euler's formula is like so complicated.
It is.
That's
It
what I'm
is.
saying. That's like beyond the scope of Calc 1.
Bro,
though.
I took a picture. I'll show you.
Nah, man. I'm gonna have to see that, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh,
As a
okay.
fellow math major, bro. Wait, what's your major?
Yeah,
What was your major?
electrical
I was.
engineering. Electrical
What?
engineering.
Oh, damn. So yeah, so my friend's electrical engineering now. Like, man, I can't believe that because you guys like. No, I used to be a math major.
I was going to say, yeah, where'd that come from?
I'm a bio major. That shit's worthless as
I
fuck.
heard bio, and then you said math. I'm like, wait, I thought.
All right, I'm gonna let you know why I think bio majors are like really worthless real quick. It's because like I'm honestly doing it for pre-med. Outside of that, it's completely fucking worthless. There's not that many jobs in America that are like, hey, you want to study dolphins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna help us explain how this ricin poisoning is bad?
savior of
My only argument would be like for like analysis, like what is it? Forensics.
Forensics,
I feel like bio could play a
You gotta
role
be
in forensics.
You have to be pre-med for that.
No, for forensics, you also
We're talking
got
about
a strong
bioengineering?
background in chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm decent at chemistry.
He's just bio pre-med or bioengineering or.
Nah, I should have done bioengineering, but
But if you're doing bioengineering, most of the time, from my experience, bioengineers they work with a company that works with electrical engineers to make bioequipment. Like a lot of
Or
like
how to
ultrasounds and stuff like
genetically
that.
modify bacteria.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
No, because bioengineering is actually mad useful. Like
Yeah.
it says, because we kind of work side by side.
Hey,
Yeah, there's a lot of
guys, I think we're getting a little bit
Yeah,
off
okay.
track.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, for
So, falling back to routines. focusing on not only college students but adults. Let's talk about routines of, I'm gonna say it. Routines like when you're in a relationship with someone or just a connection with friends or pals. Like, when is it good to have a routine with a set person and then derive that from like your own routines?
Let me cook.
Because you have to.
Let me cook.
When you're in a relationship either with like your boys or like with a lady.
Let's just say for simplification.
Yeah. I'll just make a scenario.
For principle, let's just say it's between you and your girl.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's just say you're doing whatever you're doing. Let's say you're working your job and this podcast, and some girl. Let's just say it's you right now, but you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you asking? How should you divvy up time between her and everything else that you do and your purpose?
I mean, being honest, how do you not get bored? That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I don't think this is about prioritization. I think he's talking about like things that you do with you and your significant other, things that you do with you and your friend that not just that make it special, but that that you just
consistent.
Yeah, it's consistent. Like
you do the same thing over and over again. It's not worth it. Like, it gets boring.
So there's this really quickly. There's this thing that I used to do with my girlfriend. And I did it every week. I would just read with her. I read this book with her, and we would just read it together. And
Segs.
No, I'm serious. And our whole week was just chaotic after that. I mean, obviously I had my own routine. I couldn't talk to her as much, and she had her own routine, whatever. But we got together every day, every week at that time, right? When we stopped doing that, I noticed that we kind of drifted apart. And then when we got back to that, our relationship kind of got better because of that. Because remember what a routine is. A routine gives structure. It gives like a fallback. It gives peace of mind, right? It gives like this sense of, okay, I don't think about this. I just do it, and it's this fallback, right? When things start getting crazy in your mental health, you're about to have a breakdown, whatever, and you fall back to your routines, what you used to do, what you fell in love with, or whatever, and you start doing what you used to do. You start getting back to that and feeling. I guess, what is it?
No, I completely understand what you're saying. For anyone listening and for anyone who doesn't get it, he's saying don't try to make more time or try to make it more available to be with your partner. What you should do is you should make it where the time you do spend with your partner is very valuable, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
So,
like sacred.
Yeah, so, the things we value the most are the things that are very difficult to obtain. So, let's just say you pencil in the entire day to be with your girlfriend. It won't be the same type of value as if you spent maybe 3 hours.
Well, it also depends how you spend it too.
Yeah,
that day may be like the most chaotic, the craziest day. Yeah. Like I remember one time I went to a mountain right with my buddy, and we almost froze to death. I'm not kidding you. We didn't think it was gonna be snowing. We froze to death, and after that we froze
to death.
Almost. I'm not gonna lie. And after the morning after, we got IHOP, bro. We got pancakes at IHOP.
Dude, IHOP probably hits after freezing.
Bro, I'm telling you, we had chocolate milk, hot chocolate, bro. It was mad good.
Bro had some chalky milk bro, after
my fingers were all purple and stuff.
Milk brings you back to life.
No lie, I had hypothermia, bro.
Chill out. I might go to IHOP after this.
Come on,
you gonna take us to IHOP?
What are you, my girlfriend? Why you stop? I'll be telling my girlfriend to say some shit like that.
Bro,
come on, treat us, man.
No. You're gonna treat all of us to IHOP.
Whoa.
Yo, I'll pay the tip, bro.
Whoa, hold on.
I'll give the waitress my tip.
Yo. Well, all right. But back to it. That's perfect because the way I'm seeing it with myself is, just personally speaking here, my issue is I have to mix it up or keep it exciting. So that's why keeping things scarce and sacred, those little moments are way more valuable than when it pops up.
Yeah, you're going to want to jump on an airplane with your girlfriend.
Yeah, if I do the same thing every day, I'm going to get bored. It's going to affect my mental health because I'm not getting the same gratification that I would let's say I beat a video game.
I think
if I do it over and over and over again, it just doesn't feel the same way. I'm not going through the hardships or there's no unpredictable factor that gets me excited to find the end of it.
It's not a very good thing.
It's not a good thing. But when it comes to
that's something you need to work on.
I know, I do. But there's a difference between accomplishing a task and a goal, and then just enjoying yourself in the moment.
I'll let John cook.
There's this concept that you said before the podcast even started. There's nothing that's sure in life.
Right.
And there's nothing that you know for sure in life. And I think that's true. But think about time. There's nothing sure in time.
Right.
The concept of time and space. Okay, let's not even get into like these multiple dimensions and stuff. But let's think about time. You have from the time you're born to the time you die to live on this planet, right? And there's nothing sure in that time, just like there's nothing sure in life, right?
Right.
And you think about it, we can, like you said, we can create sureness in our time. We can create a sense of stability, and it's our time, right? We can control it. A sense of safeness in our time. Now, you can say, oh, I do this at the same time every day, right? And it gets boring. I don't want to do this anymore. But at the same time, that thing causes routine. It causes a sense of, oh, if I don't do this, I'm like withdrawn, you know what I'm saying? You're out of whack. At least if you start something once a week, you can know it's there. You know that this is my time. There's nothing sure in this time. Anything can happen. People can die. I can die. Whatever. Create a sense of stability that you can fall back on. At least if it's just one thing a week, where you're just sitting down 4 o'clock reading or going over, you have this work schedule and we build everything around our work schedule, right? We go to the gym after work, we eat breakfast before work, and that's how we have our routines. But build something else, right? Have something else that you can know it's there and that you can have as a backup. And when things get crazy and you stop and you start doing other things and you have a mental breakdown, go back to that. You have that safety net. You know what I'm saying? It's something that's really important. I feel like a lot of people miss in mental health. They talk about mental health. Okay, you should do this, that, and the other thing, but they don't talk about routines. They don't talk about having this backup in your time. Like, things get so crazy today with all the social media and how people should be and how people should act and have these spontaneous, just like, oh, let me be an influencer. Let me do this. Let me do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. And they start things, pick things up, put things down, and don't have any routine, don't have any division in their time, where they don't have any fallback. And then they end up in jail, or they end up just creating a monster of themselves that they didn't want to be 20 years later down the line, because they didn't have this thing that they did every week that they thought wouldn't matter, but it did,
I'm not gonna lie. That sounds like the beginning of Bloodsport, or was it Fight Club? Yeah, Fight Club.
Yeah,
it's like have any of you guys seen Fight Club?
I've seen clips.
Yeah, I've seen clips.
All right, so the premise of it is this guy essentially just he gives up on his job because he's tired of it being the same thing every day, and he changes everything. He leaves his house. He starts living. I believe it's just abandoned house or abandoned building, and he starts a club of people who just become. What did you do?
Sorry.
No. What happened? What happened?
I was peeling off my skin.
Bro, go clean that up.
I'll be back.
You start getting blood on the floor.
Time to take over.
No, can't play.
Don't worry, I'll take over. I'm already the dominating personality here.
You know what? No comment.
Yeah. Anyways, so the thing is it's always good to have a routine, but you don't want to have a routine that essentially ruins who you are as a person.
Like, the routine, you should control the routine. The routine can't control you. Like, if I don't get this, I'm gonna die or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Personally, I think a routine. I can speak English. A routine is a power struggle between what you want to do versus what keeps you going.
Right. Yeah.
So, let's say you give in completely to the routine, you become essentially a mindless drone. So every day, I'm going to use going to the gym as an example. So, because this is the easiest that anyone can actually see. So you have these guys who do nothing but, talk about going to the gym, be about going to the gym, and everything is around going to the gym. Even their work schedule is around going to the gym. So these guys, they go to work, get off work, go to the gym, and the first thing they do when they go home is try to hit that meal window. Hit that meal window, then they're meal prepping. Then they're eating creatine. Post-workout, post-workout smoothie. And the only thing they're doing is just...
Their routine controls them.
Yeah, so it's nothing else but the routine about getting big. The thing is that someone outside of the gym culture is not going to understand why they're doing this at all. Because, I'm a gym bro. So when I go to the gym, I haven't gone recently because of...
Injuries, right?
Injury and essentially excuses. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So, when I go back, I go hard into the paint. I went with one of my friends. He's just like, bro, you were injured. You need to relax a little bit. She's like, no, we're going to hit these PRs whether we live or die. We're going to try.
Yep.
He said, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you get in there, it is the only thing you see are those plates and that PR.
You go, man.
That's the only thing you see. And I understand for some people that, that routine of trying to, hit new PR, trying to get swole, that kind of, that goal envelops them. And the only thing they see is the actual routine. They don't see anything else. Like you try talking to them, the only thing they talk about is, what time is it? I almost missed my meal window.
Yeah.
And the thing is no one wants to talk to that type of person, and that type of person is, as we said, controlled by the routine. And so it's a struggle between trying to do what you have to do versus what you want to do. And so
that opens up a new concept of where there's things in life where you can't get there's impossible to have too much of, right? There's things in life where it's impossible. There's no balance there. There's just, you either don't have it or you have it, but you can't get enough. There's still more you can get, like self-control. You can have little self-control or you can have a lot of self-control, but you can't say, oh, I have too much self-control, you know? But with routines, right, there's a balance. You can't have a routine that's crazy and that's controlling, like you said with the gym guy, right? He's just a robot going to the gym, and all he thinks about is going to the gym. Nothing else matters, because that routine for him is the Bible. But you can't have somebody where it's like, well, you can, but you find mentally ill people that just have their emotions going from crazy happy to like depressed and emotional, and just they're not stable. Their condition is never stable because they don't have this time where they do stuff. They don't have
the same problem that they have. It's just they're
two different sides
suffering.
of the spectrum.
Yeah.
So now we're identifying this spectrum of, okay, now this routine is crazy, no routine, right? You have the spectrum,
like,
and there's got to be somewhere in between. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you get someone who he gets bored of, oh, I'm going to the gym for an hour. You get someone who's like, yeah, I'll just go to the gym for an hour. They spend the entire day there. And versus the guy who's supposed to be at the gym for an hour, he stays maybe 15 minutes. He stayed on the treadmill for 15 minutes, got bored.
But you see, both of those examples as an example of having no routine. Because it's a guy that looks at the clock and says, okay, it's this time, I'm supposed to be here. My calendar says I'm supposed to be here, so I'm gonna leave this place and go to the gym for this time, and he schedules a massive amount of time, block out of his day to go to the gym. And then there's this guy that says, man, it's like 15 minutes early. I can leave. I'm gonna go here for 4 hours and party, and not supposed to. They have school the next morning or work or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's a difference between that and, I guess, a guy that makes the routine God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So there's something I want to get into, because you and I have been dominating this for the past.
My bad. I'm sorry.
No, it's good.
You want me to take it back? I was trying to
No. The thing is that I want you and Mess to have the ability to talk on something.
No, I want to asking the questions. I want to hear your opinions before I talk about everything.
I'll say this. I'll ask this. What are your guys' opinions of the 8-hour split for routine?
I didn't know that was a thing.
So there's a thing where 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of study, 8 hours of work. Or 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work, 8 hours of
See,
study.
I think that's a prime example of over scheduling and over routining, if that's a thing. Because what you're doing there is you're setting boxes and setting limits of where you can only do these things. And I don't think like we said, we now have a spectrum. We now have liberal and conservative. No, I'm just kidding. We now have no routine, and now we have too much routine, and we're trying to define these two ends of the spectrum now. What you're thinking about is where you have an 8 and 8 and 8. That's over routining, because now you never have time to be spontaneous. You never have time to say, let's go do this. Yeah. I know maybe my mental health won't allow it, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Let's do something crazy,
I totally agree with Johnathan. I mean, in the 8-8-8 split, that's too much. Like, there's no time for yourself. And besides, I believe in working smarter, work smart. No.
Smarter, not harder.
Work smarter, not harder, but work hard, play hard. So, like, why study for 8 hours if I can get efficient, like, good studying within, like, 3 or 4? So, like, I can, let's say I do the Puridermo method, like, take 30 minutes to study and then, like, maybe, like, 10-minute breaks, and then...
You're saying it's more efficient that way?
That, like, sucks.
Yeah.
I think it's more efficient that way, but also it's a good way to, like, de-stress yourself. So, like, the recall method. I take a break, time for myself, and then I get right back to it. So, like, if I want to go study for or an hour or two, and then take maybe like a 30-minute break, then get right back to it. It's like a way to de-stress myself so I don't overflow like a boiling pot or tea kettle, and it just lets me simmer back down so then I can just, go back and forth. And I think people need that a lot nowadays because particularly in America, where everyone's so worried about like work, so it's gonna cover. You never get to enjoy the spoils of what you have because people say, oh, it's a pension or you retire. But like with the way rates and things are going now, I'm not gonna get too much into it. That retirement fund and everything doesn't really last as long as it used to anymore.
Yeah, also the rise in inflation.
Right.
But,
So
but
like,
let's not get into that.
Yeah, we won't.
But Mess, what is your thought on the 8 hours?
So I would say, I think it depends on what you're studying. So say for example, people STEM majors, problem after problem, constant. Like so the thing is with things, I originally like, when I wanted to be a psych major, it was like, so the way I go about studying psych, for some reason, bro, I don't know what it is. I just don't need to study for it. I just remember it because I find psych so interesting. So I don't, because I genuinely like psychology, I don't need to struggle for it. Now for things like math, like, all right, so the routine, all right, so I'm gonna tell you when it comes down to routines. Man, that fucking light's pissing me off. I got it. So now, okay, so I used to skateboard. So all right, here's how I guess used to make a routine. So for 10 minutes, I would practice my kick flips, right? And I would like I would play skate a lot. So we would have like skate competitions. We'd play games of skate. So I would watch like I guess people I was gonna play soon in contests like what the best tricks was. So I would do like 10 minutes of my kick flips, and then do 20 minutes of different variations: fakie flips, nine flips, switch flips. So say for example with heel flips, hated them, but everyone that I had to go against got them. So I would practice probably for an hour on the worst possible tricks that I hated. So the thing is, I would go for the shitty things first. I would practice for like an hour because that was a routine. So I would try to like aim for like at least 50 heel flips.
Yeah. Right.
And that's how it works. So I honestly, to this day, I would say switch flips is my go-to trick.
Right.
Did you used to skate before?
I haven't, but I started doing like longboarding and stuff like that. But that's a cool concept because it's not just time. Like routines don't have to be just blocks of time. They can also be like just doing things. Like I'm not gonna stop until I get this done. Like until I get this paper done. That could also be a routine. It's not like 4 hours here, 4 hours there, 4 hours here. 2 hours there. It's also an act of doing things. I'm gonna do this at this o'clock, and after that, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna take a nap, right? So it doesn't have to be a hard set time that you code in. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you 50 until you like. Okay, so I was practicing basketball. I don't play professionally or anything on a team, but I would make 43 3-points, right? 43 points, and then 3-pointers, and then after that, if I didn't make it in that hour, I would keep going until I got 40. Right.
So that's what happens. So say for example, all right, bro. So kickflip is one of the weirdest tricks because people are like, oh, you always get them on lock. And that's not always true. Because like for example, one time I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to get 10 kickflips in a row, land them bolts. Bro, I kept fucking up. So it took me almost 3 hours to get to that point. Damn. But the thing is, but you don't realize. So you're not actually realizing what's really happening.
Right.
My kickflips became really good because all them fuck ups, like say for example, I didn't get to 10 consecutive ones, but eventually when I would kickflip, they would be leveled out and be like, all right, pop, flip. Bolts. So when I would land them, you're not realizing you're mastering a style.
Right.
But honestly, that's because I went a little bit out of my routine, but I still try to get a routine. I just can't do routines. It's really difficult for me.
Yeah.
So, but one thing I will say from skateboarding, I actually passed it on to math because when I would learn a new concept of math, it's like, oh, cool, this is like learning a certain trick here and there. I know it sounds weird. That's the only way I could think about it because I have a hard time seeing the big picture when it comes down to concepts like that.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, who really wants to understand the circumference like in Calc 2, like when you're learning disc and shell method?
Right, the application of it.
No, bro, I practiced with it as a skate trick. And that's how I kept going. That's the only way for me. Like
you were thinking of math when you were skating.
Bro, I said so.
Thinking of skating when he was doing math.
So you know what? So I would tell this to my professors. Only one professor's been like, yo, you know what? And that's because he used to skate, but I didn't know him. He was like, I know what you mean now. So he would try to say to his other students, and they're like, what? What's this guy talking about?
So let's just lose. Like, it looks like you in the back.
Man, if you just...
Yeah, he was real.
Yeah.
Shout out Kuhar.
It's so interesting because you think about this concept of like, okay, I'm working now. I'm out of college, right? I'm out of high school, out of college. I mean, I'm still going to school because I'm getting my graduate degree. But I'm thinking about like, so many kids get messed up because out of high school you have this structure. Their parents create a structure. You're going, okay, school, you wake up, do this routine, then you have the school routine, then you go to practice, then you're gonna
straight home,
or go straight home, you have
activities.
extracurricular activities, then you go to college, right? You have semester by semester. Each semester is separated by a break. That usually people don't have any routines during the break. Spring break, this break, that break, summer break, winter break. You don't really
Also
have
work.
routines. Or work,
You gotta
right?
work
You
the
get.
breaks.
But
It's
my
the
point.
internships,
But
yeah.
my point being is you're starting and ending a routine after every semester, after every break, and no wonder why kids in college and especially they're not mentally there, and that's why they're wondering, oh, why do college kids have such bad mental health? Like. It's because they're constantly starting and stopping routines and figuring out how to pick things up and put things down.
The break's too long. Like there's no de-stressor, which should be a lot more common. Which is
I have a
low-key.
theory. I have a theory on that.
Yeah, what?
So the whole purpose of school is to make good workers. So you're always taught to work alone and figure out the specific way of doing things.
Right.
For some things, yes, there is only one way of doing it. Let's say, let's say
Math.
no, because in math there are multiple ways of doing things.
Addition.
No,
No,
no, math.
no.
There's multiple ways you can get to an answer. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, it
everyone knows
has to be
Microsoft. You
Yeah.
can get to one thing in a certain way.
But I digress from that. The thing is that let's say you use English. There's only a specific specific set of ways you can use, say, a word in a sentence. If it's an adjective, you can't really use it as a noun. It doesn't make any sense. So for some applications, it does make sense. But for the overarching use of things, why in the world, like in the actual social norms or whatever, why would in any sense of cooperation would you ever want to work alone? If you don't know something, why are we taught to do this on our own, right? Why are we taught such strict schedules when they give us free time, right? Think about that. So what I honestly believe is that we are taught to do things a specific type of way because, when people want to hire you, they want you to do something a very specific type of way. If they expect you to fix their car, they expect you to fix it by the manual.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. Why are you sorry? Why are you
Well, I
sorry?
was apologizing
I think
to
he
the
was
audience.
apologizing for the
To
people. Like,
audience,
as
No,
if
but you were
they were
apologizing to me.
I looked at you when I said it, but I
Yeah.
meant to say to the audience.
You just say, sorry about the interference. This is a public space.
He said it better.
Anyways,
broke right now, Kenny.
Yeah. So the way it's going, that's an interesting theory. Like we are designed. I think it's to implement the struggle because if everyone succeeds, then no one makes like gains or profit. However, that really
think
goes.
about
There
this.
has to be losers and winners.
There has to be losers and
Think of it
winners.
this way: if you spend 6 years of your life
Yeah.
being taught that there's only one way to do things, you're supposed to do this on your own, and you're supposed to give us results in a specific type of way, why are there so many business owners? Think of it that way.
Because they always think outside the box.
Not even that.
Or they inherit it from like their
Well,
family.
wait, not even that. So if you own let's say you're an entrepreneur, because I don't really like that word because
Entrepreneur.
It's such a broad.
It's associated with so many weird.
it's so there's so many people who've used that word.
Chocolate,
There's so many people have used that term to the extent where it doesn't really mean anything anymore.
It's laughable.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
you tell me that, like people.
like there are girls who have an OF and they'll call themselves entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you are. You don't own a business.
You have the title, but you're not making
Yeah.
No, bro. It's become it doesn't mean anything no more.
oversaturated.
Like it literally has become because it's
Like a
technically
creator.
like right now we can be considered. I can't even say that word honestly, but you gotta say it. So
We're
yeah,
not E-words.
like that word like entrepreneur or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a French
because-
word. It means up and coming business owner.
Yeah.
It's French.
Yeah.
Entrepreneur.
It comes from pioneer too.
Yeah.
From the word pioneer, we could be we're pioneering a new podcast. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, literally, yeah.
No, I mean, but like that's the thing. It just lost its meaning.
Yeah,
like the thing is, it's like whenever someone tells me that, bro, I literally, I hate to say this. I hope it doesn't kind of like fuck, like messes with people when they like meet us. As soon as you tell me that, I lose credibility in you.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. When you're like entrepreneur, and I'm like, oh god, so is he a rapper?
Yeah,
Or
I don't know what
does
you
he
are.
do- yeah, like I hate to say it. Like, yo, I mean, I'm not like shitting on any rappers because I still work in the scene, but I just assume, I just assume that like any like
what I get when they say, okay, I'm an entrepreneur,
No,
all I'm thinking about now is like,
flip it around.
You about to scam me, bro.
Well,
yeah, no. All I'm thinking about now is
Flip it
okay,
around.
you don't have a regular job. That's all. That's the only thing I know from you saying I'm an entrepreneur. You don't work 9 to 5.
Well, basically, yeah. What you've told us is that
You could be a drug dealer or you could be with a
I was
whorehouse,
just
bro.
going
Like,
to get to that, bro. I was dead ass just like the drug deal thing. It's like
you could be a drug
Yeah.
dealer or you could be an influencer. You could have no job. You could just be selling, bro. Like,
bro.
you could be slaying it.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
And then that's what I'm saying, and it's just like it's lost its seriousness. Cause bro, like think about it, like so my sister, bro, like she's always, I mean, I guess she's like what you would consider like very like popular woman. So whenever she has so many guys like in her inbox, and they'll tell her this, she'll be an entrepreneur, but like, yo, broke as shit.
Yeah.
Like she was like, but,
It's synonymous with entrepreneur is synonymous now, especially when a guy says entrepreneur. Synonymous with not actually doing anything.
Yeah.
It's a kind of, you know what I mean? It's
Well, no.
synonymous-
Oftentimes you have to like.
bro, you just scored.
Oh, he squirted out his mouth. We have a little technical difficulty, yo. He squirted out his mouth.
Anyways, what were you saying?
No, I was just saying saying you're an entrepreneur doesn't answer anything nowadays. You used to answer a lot of questions, but now you have to ask constantly, like, okay, now you're an entrepreneur. What do you actually do? Or now you have to ask how much money do you make? What, like, okay, so you're a drug dealer. Okay, so you're not really an entrepreneur. You're a drug dealer.
You work for someone else.
Yeah, you have to ask
Still
an
working.
additional question.
And so the thing is that we're gonna tie this back to the topic. Tie it back
to routine.
to routine. The thing is that people say that, but they're not about anything that they say.
Yeah.
So they'll say, "Oh yeah, well I sell hoodies or whatever."
Yeah, I flip shoes, right?
Yeah, and what they'll do is they'll sell like one,
Yeah.
or let's say they also want to start their own podcast. What they'll do is they'll record one podcast.
And it has like 2 views or something.
It gets 2 views, and they're like, "Oh, well, I'm not making any money."
So that falls into my next actual topic is the consistency of a routine and when you know you have to analyze and critique it. So like I like using this in sports a lot. So like people who shoot a basketball, because I'm not gonna say her name, but high school actually no, it was here. I'm not gonna say her name. Professor.
Don't hone in, bro, because you're
I'll
starting
leave
to
it at
hone in.
that. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
She just hit me with a reference
Christ.
that changed my life forever. She was like, if I shoot a basketball 1,000 times, am I gonna make it? And I was like, yes. Like eventually you will.
Eventually,
Yeah.
If
She was like,
you may
"No."
not in that 1,000, but
She was like, no, you will, but I won't. And I'm like,
what does that have to do with anything?
I took it left field, but we're gonna get right to it. Pretty much when you're shooting and you see the misses, you adjust the angle of your form, you see how much power you're putting in your shot, like you adjust your wrist flick, your knee bend, all that stuff. You analyze yourself and see what you're doing wrong to miss it, but once you get closer to the hoop, so like from the difference between hitting the backboard and then hitting the rim, you're gonna try to stick to that form you did to hit the rim, because now you're gonna try and shoot it in. So in terms of a routine, what are some examples you can do to help analyze and fix yourself when a routine's not working? Like if you wanna get in the gym and you wanna lose weight, and you measure yourself every day, you mean on the scale, and you don't see the weight changing. What is it?
But there's a lot of different complications with that. Like you have to
Of course.
realize there's good routines and I'm gonna let you talk in a minute because I know you got some. There's good routines and there's bad routines. How do you identify both of those routines? And then also the outcome of the good routines might not show itself until how long? How long do I have to wait until I see this progression?
You have to love the routine as much as you hate it.
That's when addiction comes
But then
into play.
if you have a bad routine, how do I know if it's
Addiction is when you know it's a bad routine.
I'm gonna smoke every day at 3 o'clock. You know that's a bad routine.
Addiction.
You know.
Addiction.
Yeah.
I would
that's
say-
not the only bad routine.
Guys.
I would say it's trial and error.
Yeah.
It is trial and error. Like I said, so with the basketball thing, like I kind of understand where your professor is coming from. Like I said, skateboarding. I kept missing my kickflips because my foot was in a certain position. After a while missing them, I'm like, okay, cool. I just adjusted. But the thing is, I know what you mean. You're like, I don't know if this routine's not working at all. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it takes eyes from the outside looking in. Like some people, bro, like, so I don't really hit the gym like that, but I can tell you, as much as I hate when people walk up to me and like kind of give me tips, because I guess it's a pride thing. No, they know what most of the people know what the fuck they're talking about. And hell no, not never that, man. Never that. Whoa, calm down, bro. What the fuck? I like even the bro. Even the Buffets dude won't walk up to a random bro and just talk to like them like that.
Right.
Out of pocket, Will.
Yeah.
Slide over.
Yeah,
Let me.
bro. Don't hurt me, way.
That's crazy.
All right. Don't let the weight slap.
No, but like I know what you mean. But usually it usually takes a little bit like from the outside looking in. I mean, get tips from people that are better than you.
Right.
Like say for example, you guys work out more than me, and if I need tips, I would ask y'all because you know what you're like, yo, Christian, you're like yo, Mess, like you're with the weights you're using might be like for one, like say for example, you know, it's like dudes who are just starting off, they'll go for way more than they can like. They'll be able to like lift like a lot, but you realize they're not getting any gains because there's no proper form. Right. So you know, you guys got proper form. You guys can be like, yo, what are you doing? Like you're going to hurt yourself. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, going to the gym is the act of hurting yourself.
That's true.
Well, yeah, but
we understand exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we're being invaded, guys.
That's the 1 hour time limit. So now
it's chop time.
Yeah, wrap it up and move into chop time.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
No.
So like last comments, yeah, go.
There's really wrapping this up is like you think about why do we have a routine? Now you think about it just can make sense to me. You think about okay, I'm gonna make a routine to go to the gym every day. You're not thinking about oh this is improving my mental health. You're thinking about oh I'm getting stronger. I'm gonna get big. I'm gonna get girls now. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know I'm gonna
acquire some maidens.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're not thinking about your mental health. But this whole podcast has been about mental health, right? Mental health and how it relates to routines. So routines have multiple benefits. When you start a routine to go to read every day this time or whatever, you're not only bettering yourself in like what you know, but you're also you're creating like the sense of stability in your time. Like we said before, we established that
getting a sense of control.
Exactly. So I think there's many more benefits than just looking at a routine saying, okay, the routine of going to the gym is just making me stronger. No, it's actually putting you on a schedule so that you can fall back on something when things get crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental health thing. It's not just
it's a check-in.
It's right. It's a check-in. It's not just. It has multiple benefits. It's not just okay. Like I'm gonna play video games because I like video games and it calms me down. It's not just calming you down. It's helping. Well,
it depends. It depends on the type of game. But you know, let's just sit in our basement, smoke some weed, jerk off while I play some video games.
Pretty much. The difference between this is the difference here because we're falling into like a coping mechanism. A routine, something to get you going to like make sure you're progressing, you're doing well for yourself, and like you're also de-stressing at the same time. Whereas a coping mechanism is what you use when you're under stress and duress and you want to escape it for a little bit. So like that's when video games and like masturbation and stuff come into play to de-stress yourself. Because you're not progressing from masturbating.
Yeah. So basically, doing that kind of stuff has that kind of grip on everything you're trying to do, and what it really does is it really stops you from doing anything.
It's like pausing. It's like hitting the brakes when you're
It's more than that. It's like pressing pause on your development.
Yeah, like hitting the brakes.
Well, no, not just on like trying to chill out, or it's like it quite literally is pressing pause on you growing as a person.
Yeah, my fault. We're on the same thing. We're just saying two different things right now. I understand what you're saying. Like you're not growing anymore, but you're also not like getting anywhere. You
stop, like frozen in time.
Bingo.
All right. So you have anything you want to say, Mess?
Okay, last one.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what. So the coping mechanism. So honestly, whenever I hit the gym, I don't really do it to get gains, bro. Because honestly, when you see me at the gym, I'm actually like really fucked up, like kind of going through shit. Like I never really like sat there and was like, oh, this is gonna make me swole. I happen to get stronger and I guess more like muscular. But usually for me, when I'm at the gym, it's not really like in this. I mean, I guess more like I don't know how to explain it. Like
it's a de-stressor. Like you're taking out that feeling on the inside.
Yeah, like bro, I'm not gonna lie. I just like I said, I've really been terrible with routines. Like I don't sit there, bro. I just kind of do the same shit over and over again. I just do it randomly. Like I don't. It's because like for one, like it helps me. Like I don't know how to describe it. When I hit the gym, I don't hit the gym to get swole. I just kind of like, cause I have really bad anxiety. So I just do it to release anxiety.
Goku over here.
Yeah, hell no.
He's the world's strongest human. Okay?
Nah, fuck you, bro.
Krillin got fucked up by a Cyberman. He is not no.
Nah, bro. I might as well call me Chiatsu at this point, bro.
Yamcha.
Nah.
There's a Chiatsu.
I hope we never have I hope we never have a Yamcha or a Chiatsu on this podcast, but I feel like we will. Not like in the podcast, but like wait.
I ain't gonna say his name.
Anyway,
I have an idea who it is.
So, I actually. No.
Okay, so pulling it off now, we're moving into chop time because we're wrapping up routines. We're trying to keep things under an hour, hour and 30 minutes, and we just want to break this time now to, talk about life and what goes on for us and what we're experiencing. Because we're doing everything we can to provide our knowledge and our general, consensus for what we know on this topic as well as the research we put into it. But sometimes we also got to vent and give us time to maybe relate to the audience or have the audience kind of know who we are other than just the guys talking about this topic. So I'd like to introduce you all to Chop Time. Jonathan, this is where we chop it up.
Talk about just about anything.
I have a question that actually would relate to Chop Time, but also relates to routines.
Shoot, go ahead.
I think we should all, because you guys are students here, we should all figure out one thing that students here at this school can start a routine maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks can do at this school specifically.
Take a bath.
One thing.
Take a shower. Take a shower.
Oh, shower. Okay.
That's so, no, because like you come across
Self-care.
you come across some musty,
Self-care.
dusty.
No, some people looking like zombies, bro.
No, like I'm
The
being
Walking
serious.
Dead,
Some of you guys here, just you need to take a shower. You need to stop watching all the anime. You need to stop doing anime at
The rack smells like ball sack.
Straight up, man. That's all to you comp sci majors, flat out, bro.
I got comp sci.
I'm
The
throwing
rack
mad
smells like
shade.
sack. That's all I'm gonna say. The rack smells like sack.
Bro.
So just like open a window or use the shower.
How does our gym that has the most STEM kids, like the most academically like inclined, how the hell does it smell like these guys be hit like the most?
No, my question is, how do you guys know how to solve these crazy theorems without solve the ability to actually take
Add some soap. Add some fucking soap, bro.
But I digress. What I'm about to say is, when I go to the gym, it is a competition. For me, I'm competing with my gym bro. I keep it lighthearted, keep it fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
there's no point, right?
I've not beat my gym bro. It's sad. Because it's not an excuse. I was trying to compete with Julian for deadlift.
Julian's a strong dude.
The thing is, I haven't been in the gym for like a year, and I went back with him, and we were comparable. He's like he did like 170. I have a bad wrist, so I can only do like 135. But I'm doing 135 with a bad wrist, which is that is like we're deadlifting. I have a bad leg. We're deadlifting almost 300 pounds. Well, he can deadlift 315, which that upset me because I couldn't do anything over 300. I was stuck at 295. I'm sitting there angry because I can't win. Does that make sense to you guys? Because like
you got to make a routine to like work out.
No, I need PT. For my leg, I need PT. And
PT routine.
Yeah, there you go. Help your mind, help your body.
But also,
no, my mind doesn't need helping.
Also,
I'm telling you.
Yo, shit was crazy.
You don't know about that? You don't know about that, right?
the Jerry curl shit.
I made that up. Help your body, help your soul. So close.
Bro, I feel like I messed with you the New Yorker style like that.
Yo,
Yeah.
yo, I got a question, bro. It relates to New York. It's so funny that you say that. This might sound weird, but I call it Italian ice. You know what that is?
Yeah, it's like the
Question: Do you call it ice water or Italian ice?
Italian ice.
I call that shit Ritas.
Ice water. Wait, what is ice water?
So I heard from a friend from Jersey. They say that supposedly in southern Jersey or northern Jersey, like it differs.
It's called Ritas.
Like some people call it ice water. I think in the southern part of Jersey.
Bro, there's these feuds about southern Jersey
Bro,
and northern Jersey.
let me ask a question.
Pork roll and Taylor ham. You got
Yeah,
ice
that's what I
water
heard.
It's
and
either
Italian
Ritas
roll.
or Luigi's.
Or
It's not
Italian
in
ice.
between.
Italian ice.
Yo,
Italian ice. Ritas or Luigi's.
I heard there's no such thing as Central Jersey. Like that's
Bro,
the biggest. Yo, yeah, right. No,
it's neither
people
you
will
live
be
in
ready to
Trenton-
fight you about that. Like,
bro, no, that's what I'm saying. No, because it's very
They'll be ready
interesting.
to fight you about Central Jersey.
Bro,
like,
supposedly my friends believe Central Jersey. It's either que lo que or you out here fucking with Philly. It's Philly.
yeah, for real.
Like so. No, that's what I heard. Like,
On the block.
Bro, I the way I see
You
it,
need to stop saying that.
I'm a very mathematical guy. So if there's a beginning and an end, there's obviously a middle. If there's a top and the bottom, there's a middle. So I'm just like, hey, I take it from
Wait, you're middle? Let's.
like,
whoa, we don't do no centrism here.
Come on. Yo, what's that theory that says if you start at one place and you go to another place and it has a difference, the line has to go through that point? What's that? You guys?
Where's Middle Dakota then?
Yo, I don't know.
No.
It's just triple force, bro. What is it?
Meridian.
The fuck, G?
The center.
It'd be the meridian.
The Meridian. No, but but you know, so you know what I'm saying, right? About that Central Jersey shit.
It's
no, so like
fightable,
that's the one thing I always fucking hear from like people. They're like, yo, like either you got Northern and Southern Jersey. Like honestly, that's exactly how I see it too. Because I feel like Central Jersey's like, what is that? Bro?
It's really New Brunswick and North Brunswick, and you got what else?
Is that considered Central Jersey though?
Technically, there's a
Isn't Trenton literally in the center of the state?
That's where you get.
That's
Southern
the
Jersey.
capital. Question, bro. How many? I think I'm gonna say this and might be kind of like, I'm gonna say it.
Go ahead.
How many civics are there in your vicinity?
Bro,
exactly, bro. I mean, that's what I need to know.
There's constantly civics on, going down the street, and then, bro, it's loud as heck for no reason, bro. Like they literally took the exhaust off and have the.
They're like, dímelo money. Que lo que, yeah.
Hey, no mames.
No, bro, this is Mexican. That's not even.
Bro, I'm telling you.
No, I'm fucking with you. No, but I mean, like, it's a completely different area. But no, that's the thing. So, like, I'm more familiar with Northern Jersey.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like, Jersey City and all that shit.
Right,
bro,
right.
Jersey City's New York, bro.
Yeah,
I don't give a fuck what they say.
Nah.
Like, bro, honestly, Jersey City, all right, here's a building, and New York City's literally across the water. What's
Bro.
it, Weehawken?
You got.
Bro, what the
Hoboken,
fuck?
Weehawken,
Let me ask a question. What's up with Weehawken? Because I noticed every time I cross that, when me and you were riding on the bus, it's that high school that their football field is literally on top of the Jersey and New York state line. So, like, you're. Like, what is
you
that,
have
bro?
Weehawken and you have like Hoboken and then you.
But
have,
what's the vibe in Weehawken?
Bro, I don't know nobody from Weehawken, bro. All I know is their
I don't
cops
think
are racist.
Let them talk.
I don't think they're real. We can-
He's eating his goldfish, you know.
The goldfish slaps.
All right, so
I
now,
want you to
let's
say
go
though,
on. Yeah, I guess.
It's a snack that smiles.
No.
It does smile back. I'm smiling.
I wanted to talk to Will about something.
So, all right, we'll talk after this. I got one more thing to say. The one thing I think UMBC students, answering your question, that they all should take into account that they need to do is honestly take a risk and socialize with each other.
No, I believe that, 100%.
You see me on campus and like I'll wave to people and try to say hi and y'all be like, why are you being so friendly? Some people look, I don't know, I'm not intimidating. Some people be frightened of me.
Yeah.
Like, they'll either like stop or like be really awkward, like hi, like you're not supposed to be waving to me or something.
Like, why the
have
fuck
a
are
good
you
day.
waving at me?
So how do you make that a routine though?
You can't.
Just, no, take a risk. So whoever you see someone, if you
Like, I'm gonna spend this hour of the day. Of
No.
this week-
How about this?
So, like, whenever
You
you're walking to
take
class.
5 minutes, and you just
Do something
practice.
social.
You literally just take 5 minutes, practice saying hi to people.
Well, not
That's all
even
you have to
5 minutes. Like on your way to your next class, the next 3 people you run into, try to wave and say hi to them. Just try
Well,
to get like.
that can be difficult for especially the people here. I
Hey.
just say it's 5
Take
minutes.
5 minutes a year and
minutes.
just say hi. No, he's like, what? No,
You know,
wait.
I'm the Discord moderator. I'm gonna spend 5 minutes getting out of my bed.
I did it today.
No, I will say, so that's always been kind of my biggest complaint about the school is the fact that there is no type of social interaction. It actually makes things harder. People don't realize, and maybe, I guess,
Yeah, NPC.
like, yeah, because the thing is, all right, think of it like this, right? So people are in classes where sometimes you need to do group studies, right?
Yeah.
If you're not social, bro, you're not gonna, it's gonna
no group
impair your, people don't realize you being anti-social impairs your like, I don't want to say education.
The ability to work through problems.
Think
And your
about it.
education-
Problem skill.
Yeah.
Bro, when these kids graduate and they realize they can't fucking talk to people and they realize that there'll be group projects in the real life you gotta work with people,
That's what it's
bro, these kids are going to be like, cry about some mental health shit. They're like, I can't talk to people.
They dyed
Bro,
their
I
hair
just
blue.
can't.
Bro,
Like, well, yeah.
that's how you get like animosity between different people, and they can never work with people because think about it. Okay, so you're not social, you're not gonna talk about the project. One person's gonna end up doing the whole thing, right?
Yeah,
One person's gonna
that's
end up doing
usually
like
what it is.
everything, and then there's gonna
They're
be
gonna
like,
feel
oh, these
slighted.
guys didn't help. These guys didn't help. Oh, you know, I'm never talking to him again. Like you're gonna do that to your
Done
boss,
with
like
these girls with blue hair.
yeah, like
So, but the thing is,
and blonde eyes. Blue hair.
no, but that's the thing. What I'm saying, bro. People, but people here don't realize. I guess because people are so like caught up in their own world. They don't, especially like I would say people in the STEM field. Like, all right, so her classes, like I would say math classes for sure. You definitely need a group of people to study with. I say I don't know about. I'm not too familiar with engineering. I imagine you guys might have some group studies.
Yeah,
Engineering,
So ENES,
you need to
always
bounce,
group
yeah.
projects.
So that's what I'm saying. So like you get like for me, organic chemistry is really difficult, and I always
Yeah.
feel like I need a group of people to study with.
Yeah.
Now some people just understand it right off the bat, but I'm
organic
starting.
chemistry's hard,
bro. But I start realizing I'm like, yo, and I observe some of these students, and I'm like, yo, you know what, man?
If you could actually talk to people,
Like, yo, no. I'm like, yo, some of these kids are kind of messed up a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, it's not just a class thing. Like, you guys just can't talk to people. Bro, let me tell you something. And probably some of these people have asked me already, yo, how do you talk to people? You know what? I hate that fucking question more than anything. I genuinely hate it.
Yeah.
It's like
The same way you're talking to me.
Well, like you can't be a friend to anybody if you're not friendly. You know what I'm saying? If you're not approachable, if you just have your like AirPods in the whole time, bro, like how you gonna talk to anybody? Like if you're not approachable, like.
And you know what? I hate that you're considered weird for being social. That's what generally pisses me off. Like sometimes, okay, and I mean I've been guilty of this where I tell Will, like, and maybe because I've kind of gotten like I've been like a little bit self-conscious now because the school's been so introverted. Where like he'll be like mad like extroverted, and I'm like, yo, Will, why the fuck are you waving to that person, bro? They ain't waving back.
Like in his mind, his body language be telling me to shut the hell up.
Like I'd be like, bro, like why the fuck are you doing that? And I realized like I get out of that because like I'm like. I guess that is true what you say. If you're not friendly to people, but then it's just like people make you feel weird for being social.
That's the thing. Like, you got to be okay with like having people think you're weird. Like for me, it's just like getting out of my comfort zone, and like I've been embarrassed so many times in my life, many times. I don't really care.
Bro, like you're preaching to the choir here because like I out weird both of them combined.
That's true.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You be kind of like.
I know I'm a weird dude, but like you be like,
Dude, no, but it's not the weird kind. It's just like. Bro, you need to chill out. Kind of weird. It's just like, why are you singing Katusha in the library? Weird.
No, but it's just like that type of outgoingness will help you to talk to people, and that's I feel like that's lacking in the school. Looking
like,
around, it's just like you don't see anybody talking to anybody else unless they're like cliques, unless you're like family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I actually was called out. Someone tried to shame me for trying to talk to people. It was weird.
No.
I was just like,
No.
all I did was say hi.
Yeah.
Why are you becoming hostile? It's just
like imagine being a communications major and not talking.
being communications major and having no communication skills.
Yeah, like what?
Actually, there are people. I've talked to someone who was like that here. That's one thing that people here need to practice is actually communicating and cooperating with people. Because let's say you don't like this person, and you don't tell them. What do you expect is gonna happen? Because like I heard these two girls talking. They're like, oh, I was trying to be super dry to this guy, and he just wouldn't get the hint. It's just like
You tell them personally.
why didn't you just tell him?
Don't talk to me.
I don't want to talk to you. And then he's just like, oh, I think about it. I probably should have did that. And then she started asking what my name was. I'm like, I'm not talking to you.
You also see, that's a very double-edged sword because I've been in predicaments like that, and then you know what I hear? I don't think it's safe to tell them that because this and that may happen, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because then they'll be like, oh well, we don't know how that person could have taken. They could have acted violent towards us. I'm like, bro,
This is over text.
It's better to be upfront about things because then things will bite you in the butt later. It's better to take care and be honest in it now because it's gonna hurt now. Obviously, is start saying certain things and like being honest.
Rejection.
But at the end of that, if people find out, it's gonna be a bigger headache down the road.
I think I'd rather be an asshole than look like a creep.
Yeah.
In a way.
It's like, the thing
like
is,
I'm gonna explain to you like what I mean. I'm like, bro, like if someone's doing something I don't like, I'd rather be like, yo, like dude, or whoever, like, yo, I do not fuck with this. I'm gonna just.
yeah, you pull them aside.
But if it's your
and
friend,
say,
like you don't want to lose a friend over something stupid they're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
if you love that, or not love, if you really like that person, like when I say love, I mean like,
I know what you mean.
Like just a brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about romantically. I'm not talking about.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
we know what you're talking about.
Care for that person.
If you're there for that person, you really care about that person. There's love there. There's a brotherly love there.
John, if you can't sit down with your friend here and tell him, bro,
You're fucking up.
what you're doing right now,
Or you smell.
yeah, like, bro, take a fucking shower, brush your fucking teeth.
Yeah.
If
No,
that
you
is
know what?
enough,
You can't do
if
that.
that's
a fact.
No, come on.
if you can't sit down and tell him that, A, you don't have any fucking balls.
No, and you're not really
B,
friends, bro.
You're not friends with this motherfucker.
No, you're right.
No,
No, that's a fact.
I got a story now that you said it, like it triggered this thing in my mind. Bro, my junior year